بالله من الشيطان الرجيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. وقال الله يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. وقال الله يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. Alhamdulillah that Allah has given us life to come to another Yom al-Jum'ah. And Yom al-Jum'ah is a special day. It's the day that Allah created the skies and the earth, and Allah created Prophet Adam, and Allah will cause the day of judgment to occur on the Yom al-Jum'ah. And Yom al-Jum'ah, when a person does ghusl, takes a bath or a shower, and comes to the Salah in Jum'ah, then Allah will forgive the sins of this person from all the way from the previous week, from the previous Jum'ah. So this is the mercy of Allah that He has made it so easy for us to seek His forgiveness. And this is our job. As human creatures, our job is to seek Allah's forgiveness. The angels don't make mistakes, and so they don't make istighfar. They don't ask Allah to forgive them because they don't make mistakes in the first place. The animals do what Allah has designed them to do, so they also don't make mistakes like we do, and so there's no need for the animals to make istighfar. But we humans, and also jinn, we make mistakes because Allah has given us the ability to choose between right and wrong. And sometimes we choose wrong, and so we make istighfar, and this is our job. Rasulullah said that if we did not make istighfar, Allah would erase us and replace us with another species of creature that would do sins, and so they would make istighfar. So we should always do istighfar, and we should always try to be perfect, but when we obviously we always fall short, and so we do istighfar, ask Allah to forgive us. And us coming to Jum'ah is a means for us to seek Allah's forgiveness, so us coming to Jum'ah is a means of istighfar, and so it's our job to come to Jum'ah. And may Allah accept it from us. Alhamdulillah, Allah has said in the Quran, in Surah Al-Mulk, بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم قل هو الذي أنشأكم وجعل لكم السمع والأبصار والأفئدة قليلا ما تشكرون. Allah says that He is the one who has given us life, brought us forth from the earth, and He's the one who gave us our hearing and our seeing. And He's also given us hearts for contemplation and for feeling. But little is it that we show gratitude to Allah. So Allah has given us 5 senses. So in addition to seeing and hearing and seeing, we also have the sense of smell, the sense of taste, and the sense of touch. And Allah gave us these senses so that we can sense the world around us, so that we can see what is this world that Allah has put us in. And then He gave us our hearts, so we can think with our intellect, and we can feel, and we know what is right and what is wrong. And we should be grateful to Allah for giving us these faculties. Now, imagine all of the beautiful things that we can sense with our 5 senses that Allah has made halal for us. Allah says, فَامْشُوا فِي مَنَاكِبِهَا وَكُلُوا مِنْ رِزْقِهِ. Allah invites us to go and travel throughout the world and to see what there is that Allah has created for us, to enjoy the rizq that He has given us, the resources that Allah has given us. And imagine that a person is living on this earth and he can go anywhere he wants and he can witness all of the beautiful things with his 5 senses. And then he's grateful to Allah, as Allah wants us to be grateful. Now imagine this person can see all the beautiful things, he can hear all the beautiful sounds, he can taste all the beautiful foods, and smell so many beautiful fragrances, and then he can feel so many beautiful things like the wind and the sunshine, and the soft cloth, and all of these things that Allah has given us the ability to sense. Now imagine if you ask this person, would you like to go, or so-and-so, would you like to go back to being a tiny little baby in your mother's womb? Now that doesn't sound very exciting to this person who has 5 senses and can go everywhere in the world and can sense all the beautiful things that Allah has created. Because what is a baby like in the womb of the mother? Does the baby have these 5 senses in the womb of the mother? No. If the baby has any senses at all in the womb of the mother, it's only 2. he might be able to hear a little bit when he's in there, but he can't hear very well. He might be able to hear his parents reciting Quran when he's still in the womb of his mother. He might hear his mother reciting Quran, making dua, but he can't really understand it, and he can't really hear exactly what she's saying. Now that's only one sense that he has. The other sense that he might possibly have is a sense of touch. So he might be able to feel the warmth of the womb, but he can't really feel around him too much. And there's not really a big world around him to explore. It's very small. And so he only has two senses, and these senses are extremely limited. But then, when Allah brings this baby into the world, and this baby is born, and then Allah allows this baby to develop, then how many senses does this baby now have? Now the baby has 5 senses. Now he can start to sense more, he can start to see things that he couldn't see before, he couldn't open his eyes. Now he can hear things even better than he could before. And he can now smell, he couldn't smell before, because he couldn't breathe. Now he can taste things. He can actually eat like we eat. And then he can feel things, he can go and explore around him. And he has a big world to go and explore in. Now, so we see that the number of his senses has increased from 2 to 5. And we see that the quality and the sharpness of his senses has also increased. And the range of his exploration has also increased. And so he has been born from the womb of his mother into the dunya, the world. But if we think about the womb of the mother, it's very small, right? But when the baby's in there, he thinks this is all there is. But now he's born into the big world of the dunya, and now he gets used to it. But guess what? This dunya is also very, very small. And we got used to this dunya the same way that the little baby got used to the womb of his mother. But there's a bigger world out there. And that bigger world is the real world. Right? Just like the human being wouldn't want to go back into being a baby in the womb of his mother, the one who passed away and died and already went to the next world, and the big world on the other side, and who's enjoying himself on the other side, or enjoying herself, do you think they want to come back to this world? No, they don't want to. The only one who wants to come back to this world is the mujahid, so that he can die again for the sake of Allah. But they don't want to come back to this world. They don't miss the things that they used to have in this world, because what to have on the other side is much better. So imagine, there are things that we cannot see in this world, but the people on the other side can see. There are things that we cannot hear in this world, but people on the other side can hear. And maybe there are other senses that the people in the other world have that we don't even have. We have only 5 senses. But who knows? Allah knows they could have even more senses. They can see reality that we cannot even possibly imagine. As Rasulullah said, in Jannah, there are things that the ear, no human ear has heard, and no human eye has seen, and no human heart has imagined. That means there are things in Jannah and things on the other side that we cannot even imagine it. You see all these books and movies and whatever, they imagine all these things. They imagine strange creatures and strange lands, like Narnia or Mordor or whatever, right? But all these things, this is what the human heart has imagined. But there are things in Jannah that no eye has seen, no ear has heard, and no heart has imagined of a human being. So it's even more amazing, and it's a big, vast world. Now, Allah says, لَقَدْ كُنْتَ فِي غَفْلَةٍ مِنْ هَذَا فَكَشَفْنَا عَنْكَ غِطَاءَكَ فَبَصَرُكَ الْيَوْمَ حَدِيدٌ. Allah says himself in the Quran, He says that today we have taken away the veil from your eyes. You used to be absent-minded, you used to be unaware of these truths, about these things that are on the other side of death. You used to be unaware of them. You didn't know that they existed. You didn't know that they were real. You didn't know that they were out there. But Allah says, we have removed the veil from in front of your eyes. That means we have veils in front of us, covering us. Even though we have 5 senses, we can't see everything. There are things that are real in reality that we cannot even detect. We cannot see, we cannot sense, despite the 5 senses that we have. But then when we die, and especially on the Day of Judgment, the veil will be lifted from us. And then Allah says, فَبَصَرُكَ الْيَوْمَ حَدِيدٌ. Your vision on that day will be as sharp as steel, meaning you will see. And this begins when the person is beginning to die. Even before the person has died, some people will be on their deathbed. And they're not in the dunya exactly, but they're not in the akhirah exactly. They're going in between. And Rasulullah said, إِنَّ لَلْمَوْتِ لَسَكَرَاتٍ. There's a pain and agony that happens in the time of death. And when this happens, the person can start to hear things that the other people who are alive around him cannot hear. And he can start to see things that the people around him who are alive cannot see. And sometimes they even say something. And they might even say something that the other people around them don't understand. They'll say, hey, look at the guests. Let them come inside. And then the family members around the bed, around the dying person, they look around, they don't see anybody waiting to come inside. But who is it that these people, that this dead person who's dying, not dead yet, but what is he seeing that the other people cannot see? He sees the angels of death being led by the chief, the Malak al-Maut himself, the angel of death. When the person is a good person, when the person has been a good person, submitted to Allah, Muslim, believing in Allah, convinced in Allah, mu'min, and doing good deeds in the most beautiful way, muhsin, when a person is good, and he or she is on the deathbed, then the angels of death come in. And they come in, but they don't look scary, they look beautiful. They're not like the Green Reaper, with so dark and very mysterious in face and big sights with a blade. No, this is not. That's a scary one. But no, for the believer, the good person, the angels of death come in very beautiful, and they come in very pleasant, very beautiful, and they come in with cloth from Jannah that smells with the smells of Jannah, fragrance of Jannah, smells that we can't even imagine in this dunya. And they come and the angel of death sits next to the head of the person who is about to die, and he says, "Oh righteous soul," he's speaking to the ruh, the soul that's inside of the body of the human being. "Oh righteous soul, come out of that body, come out and come to the pleasure of Allah, and to the forgiveness of Allah, and to the enjoyments that Allah has promised His righteous slaves." Now this person who's still inside the body, this soul, he remembers, I used to read Quran, and I learned about what Allah promised the righteous people. I used to listen to the hadith, and I learned what Allah promised the righteous people. And so, I'm happy. I don't want to be in this world anymore. I want to go and enjoy those things, to see those things. He's excited. And so what happens? He doesn't fight. When the angel of death invites him to come out of the body, he comes out of the body easy. How does Rasulullah describe it? Like a drop of water coming from a jug. How smooth is it? There's no friction, there's no tension, there's no struggle. Just slides out so soft, so smooth. This is the righteous soul. And then when the righteous soul comes out, all the angels rush forward, so happy. And then they wrap the soul around with that beautiful cloth from Jannah that smells so good. And now the soul is wearing this nice cloth around him, smelling so good. And then, now what do? Now they start on a very miraculous and amazing journey. They go, and they rise and fly up, and they go into the skies. Now he's not just stuck on the earth anymore. Now he can fly higher than the birds ever have flown, even higher than the astronauts have ever flown. And they go into the sama ad-dunya, the closest sky. How many skies are there? 7. But he goes to the first one. And now imagine this. Imagine that you're this soul, and you're leaving the earth, and you're coming out of the atmosphere of the earth, and you look down and you say, wow, I used to live on that little blue planet. Look, that used to be my continent. I used to live on that continent. Look, there's Makkah right there, the birthplace of my beloved messenger, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And now I'm going far away from here, and I'm all going on this miraculous journey that I could not even dream that I would go into space one day. But here I am. I'm going into the sky, and I'm being escorted by these beautiful companions, these angels. And on the way, you're passing these other angels. And these angels, how many angels are there in the skies? There are so many angels in the skies. That Rasulullah ﷺ said that there is not a space of 4 fingers worth in the skies, except that there is an angel making sajda on that place. There are so many angels in the skies that the skies are creaking, like they're groaning under the pressure, under the weight of the angels. That's how many angels there are. And when you start to pass these angels, the righteous soul starts to pass by these angels, the angels say, whoa, who is this beautiful person? And they say, oh, this is so-and-so. And they call you by the most beautiful names. The one who used to make salah, the one who used to make zikr, the one who used to give sadaqah, the one who this and this, all the good deeds and all the good names that they would call you. And then you fly past the planets and the stars and the different solar systems. You fly past all of the asteroids and the supernova, and all of this miraculous journey that you could not imagine that you would ever come this far, that you would ever be able to witness these things. But now Allah is taking you on a tour of these things as you come to the gate. The gate of what? The gate to the next sky.